The Forgotten Mine. August 16, 2001, Crestwood, Colorado. Crestwood had always been a quiet town nestled between the towering Rockies. Known for its picturesque views and serene landscapes, it was a haven for nature lovers and peace seekers. But every town has its tales, and Crestwood was no exception. Leah, a geology major with an adventurous streak, had heard rumors about an old mine on the outskirts of Crestwood. It was the kind of place elders warned children about. The kind of place where tales of lost souls and eerie sounds at night were whispered around campfires. Ethan, her best friend, and a history buff, had dug up old newspaper clippings about the mine. Articles from the 1960s detailed unexplained phenomena, miners who went missing, and eventually the mine's abrupt closure. Theories ranged from gas leaks to ghost stories, but nothing was ever confirmed. Olivia, with her penchant for photography and capturing the unknown, was the last piece of their adventurous trio. She had an uncanny ability to find beauty in the most desolate places, and the mine, with its history shrouded in mystery, was a perfect subject. As the three packed their gear, the sun casting long shadows over the Rockies, they shared a mix of excitement and apprehension. They had decided to set up camp near the entrance of the mine, intending to spend the night and explore the following day. With cameras, maps, and a fiery spirit of adventure, they were ready to uncover the secrets of the Forgotten Mine. Little did they know, some secrets are better left buried. By the time the trio approached the mine's entrance, dusk was painting the sky in hues of purple and gold. The worn path that led them here was overgrown, evidence of the many years it had been since anyone had ventured this way. The mouth of the mine loomed ahead, a gaping void in the mountainside, its darkness contrasting sharply with the fading light. Vines clung to the time-worn wooden beams that framed the entrance, and an old sign, weathered and barely legible, hung crookedly. Crestwood Mine, Esther 1897. Ethan unfolded the old map he had acquired from the town's archives. "This should give us a good idea of the main tunnels," he remarked, tracing the pathways with his finger. Olivia, her eyes sparkling with curiosity, had already begun setting up her camera on its tripod. "The play of light and shadow here is incredible," she murmured, capturing the first shots of the evening. Leah, ever the pragmatic one, started setting up their campsite a safe distance from the entrance. "We'll need a good night's rest if we're to explore tomorrow," she called out, unrolling sleeping bags and setting up their small tent. As the last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the mountains, an eerie stillness settled around them. The chirping of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl were the only sounds breaking the silence. Gathered around a small campfire, the friends shared stories and theories about what might lie within the mine's depths. The flames cast dancing shadows on the trees and flickered in their eyes, a testament to the burning curiosity that brought them to this forsaken place. Morning greeted Crestwood with a soft golden haze, the sun's rays filtering through the canopy of trees surrounding the camp. The world seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for the events of the day to unfold. After a quick breakfast, the trio stood at the mine's entrance, their flashlights casting narrow beams into the impenetrable darkness ahead. Taking a deep breath, Leah led the way, her footsteps echoing in the vast emptiness. Olivia's camera clicked intermittently, capturing their journey into the unknown. Ethan, with the old map clutched tightly, provided direction, ensuring they stuck to the main tunnels. Inside, the air was damp and cold, a stark contrast to the warmth of the summer morning outside. The walls bore the scars of pickaxes, and the ground was littered with remnants of the mine's past. Rusted rails, broken helmets, and abandoned carts that once carried precious ores. As they ventured deeper, the weight of the mountain pressed down upon them. The silence was occasionally broken by the distant drip of water or the soft flutter of wings, creatures of the dark startled by their intrusion. In one chamber, Ethan noticed markings on the walls, not the usual wear of tools, but deliberate symbols etched deep into the rock. They were unlike anything he'd seen in his research. These must be old, perhaps even predating the mine itself, he mused. Olivia was drawn to a shimmering pool of water, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the intertwining tunnels like a mirror. As she leaned in for a closer shot, a faint whisper seemed to emanate from its depths, too soft to discern but impossible to ignore. Their descent into the mine's heart had only just begun, but the mine was already sharing its secrets. The deeper the group traveled, the more the mine seemed to come alive around them. Faint echoes, like whispers from the past, reverberated through the tunnels. Every so often, the trio would pause, listening intently, trying to discern if it was just the sound of their own movements or something more. Olivia, ever the explorer, was particularly drawn to a narrow offshoot from the main path. "There's something about this tunnel," she murmured, her voice filled with wonder. "I need to capture it." With her camera firmly in hand, she ventured forth, the light from her flashlight bouncing off the walls, creating dancing shadows that seemed to beckon her deeper. Leah and Ethan, engrossed in deciphering the strange symbols they continued to find, hardly noticed her departure. It was only when the quiet became too pronounced, the weight of the silence pressing down on them, that Leah looked up. "Where's Olivia?" she asked, concern evident in her voice. Ethan scanned the surroundings, realization dawning. "She must have gone down that side tunnel. We should have kept closer together." The two retraced their steps, calling out her name. Their voices echoed back at them, but there was no reply. They reached the tunnel Olivia had been drawn to and were met with an unsettling sight. Her camera lay on the ground, its lens shattered, next to an old miner's boot that seemed out of place. The air grew colder, a palpable tension enveloping them. Leah's flashlight flickered momentarily, casting the tunnel into momentary darkness. When the light returned, a new set of footprints, wet and muddy, led further down the tunnel. Olivia was nowhere in sight, and the once inviting exploration had turned into a desperate search. Following the trail of wet footprints, Leah and Ethan ventured further into the winding tunnel. The air grew thick with tension, each step echoing ominously. The walls seemed to close in on them, the atmosphere heavy with age-old secrets. Suddenly, the path opened up, revealing a vast chamber unlike any other part of the mine. The room was illuminated by a strange phosphorescent glow, emanating from an unknown source. Huge stalactites hung from the ceiling, and in the center stood a stone altar, intricately carved with the same symbols they had encountered earlier. Upon the altar lay Olivia's camera, still intact, beside an ancient-looking book bound in worn leather. As Ethan approached, he noticed the book was open to a page depicting a ritualistic ceremony, eerily reminiscent of the chamber they now stood in. Leah, her voice barely above a whisper, pointed to the walls. Frescoes depicted miners, but not at work. They were in various stages of transformation, their forms morphing into shadowy, spectral figures. As the realization set in, a cold wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing their flashlights. In the darkness, a soft chanting began, rising and falling in a rhythm that felt older than time itself. Panicking, Ethan managed to light a match. The dim flame revealed a sight that sent shivers down their spines. Shadowy figures, seemingly part of the chamber's walls, were slowly detaching, their eyes glowing with the same phosphorescent light. The match burned out, plunging them once more into darkness. The chanting grew louder, the presence of the shadowy figures palpable. The mysteries of the chamber threatened to become their reality, and the urgency to find Olivia and escape became paramount. In the oppressive darkness, Leah's hand found Ethan's, their grip on each other a lifeline amidst the encroaching shadows. The chanting intensified, reaching a fevered pitch, before suddenly it ceased, replaced by a profound silence that seemed to consume the very air around them. From the far end of the chamber, a soft, ghostly light began to emanate. Slowly, the figure of a miner, translucent and ethereal, emerged. His old-fashioned gear and lantern were clear indicators of an era long gone. His eyes, filled with sorrow and wisdom, locked onto theirs. "You should not have come here," he began, his voice echoing throughout the chamber. "This mine holds secrets that were meant to be forgotten, for they bear the weight of our sins." Leah, summoning her courage, stepped forward. "We're searching for our friend, Olivia. Have you seen her?" The apparition nodded solemnly. "She has been taken by the shadows, just as many of us were. This mine was cursed after we unearthed a chamber much like this one. In our greed, we woke an ancient force that demanded a price for our intrusion." Ethan, desperation evident in his voice, interjected. "How can we save her? There must be a way." The spirit, with a heavy sigh, replied, "To free her, you must complete the ritual that binds this place. The book on the altar holds the answers. But be warned, the ritual is perilous, and the shadows will not release their claim easily." With that, the apparition began to fade, his final words hanging in the air. "Remember, sometimes the darkness within is greater than the darkness without." Leah and Ethan were left in the chamber, the weight of their task pressing upon them, their resolve to save Olivia stronger than ever. With the apparition's words ringing in their ears, Leah and Ethan approached the ancient book. The pages, brittle with age, detailed the steps of the ritual. It spoke of an incantation, a sacrifice, and the alignment of one's spirit with the mind's essence. Gathering their courage, they began to chant the incantation. The chamber responded, the very walls pulsating with energy. The shadows writhed and screamed, their forms contorting in anguish. As they reached the climax of the ritual, Leah took Olivia's camera, the last tangible piece of their friend, and placed it on the altar. With a deep breath, she whispered a final line from the book. Suddenly, the chamber was bathed in a blinding light. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a serene calm. The shadows, once menacing, retreated into the walls. Their hold on the mind weakened. From the depths, a familiar figure stumbled forth. Olivia, dazed but unharmed. The trio embraced, their bond stronger than any force they had encountered. However, their ordeal was not over. The mind, though momentarily pacified, began to rumble. Rocks fell and the ground shook as if the mountain itself was angered. Realizing they needed to leave immediately, they raced through the tunnels, guided only by memory and the faint light of Ethan's dying flashlight. Behind them, the mind collapsed, its ancient secrets and sins being buried once again. They emerged into the open air, the early evening sun bathing them in golden light. The entrance to the mine was sealed, ensuring no one would ever disturb its rest again. Exhausted but alive, the friends looked at each other, their adventure a testament to the power of friendship and the dangers of delving too deep into the unknown. In the weeks that followed, the tale of the Crestwood mine became the stuff of legends in the town. Whispered accounts of the trio's harrowing journey spread, and soon people came from miles around to catch a glimpse of the sealed entrance and the brave souls who'd ventured within. Leah returned to her studies with a newfound respect for the mysteries of the earth. Her experience in the mine inspired her thesis, blending geology with folklore, though she always left out the most supernatural details, choosing to keep some secrets to herself. Ethan, his curiosity insatiable, delved into researching other mysterious places around the world. He published a series of articles, hinting at the supernatural, without fully revealing the depths of what they'd encountered. His readers were left to wonder how much was fact and how much was the product of a vivid imagination. Olivia's photographs from before the incident were exhibited in a local gallery. The haunting images of the mine's entrance, the overgrown paths, and the eerily serene surroundings drew attention from photographers and enthusiasts alike. Yet, she never spoke of what happened inside, letting her pictures tell a story she couldn't put into words. The sealed entrance became a monument of sorts. On its anniversary, the three would gather, lighting a candle in memory of the lost souls of the mine. Rumors persisted, of course. Some said that on moonless nights a faint glow could be seen from the cracks in the sealed entrance, and others claimed to hear distant chanting carried by the wind. But for Leah, Ethan, and Olivia, the Crestwood mine remained a testament to their bond, a chapter in their lives they would never forget, but chose never to revisit. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Write in the comments what you think about this story.